Hey everyone, welcome to this drum lesson, this live lesson. Today we're going to be covering the 3 drum patterns that I teach all of my students, and these are geared specifically towards first-time students or students who are just newer to the drum set. So here we go. The very first pattern is really simple. It's called 8 on a hand. You'll also hear it called 8s. If you are ever in drumline, this is like the very first thing that they drill into your brain is playing these 8s. And so the goal with this is to work on what's called your rebound stroke, where you're throwing the stick down into the drum and you're allowing it to rebound freely back to the start. So to play this, how you want to grip the stick, imagine that you're holding it about 1/3 of the way from the bottom of it, okay? And you're going to put your thumb and your first finger at that mark, and then you're going to just wrap your other fingers around. The stick should be just against your palm. It should be kind of firm but not too tight. All right, and then from there you're gonna do that with both hands, and you're gonna just make your hands face palm down, and it's going to give you this pretty wide angle here, which is great. So elbows relaxed at your sides, hands are facing palm down. Watch out for your wrist to turn in. A lot of my students, I see them want to do this at the start. For some reason, they like create this little curve in their wrist. Don't do that. You want to keep your wrist just straight in line with your forearm here. And then also don't flare your elbows out to the sides or make your grip too wide to where the stroke is really only coming from this twisting motion. You want to relax your elbows, hands palm down, and your stick, it's just in line with the palm of your hand. So don't think about it too hard. Just put your thumb there, wrap your fingers around it. It's naturally going to have this angle to it, okay? And with this stroke, you're going to play 8 hits on the right hand, or whichever hand is your dominant hand. That's what you would want to start with. And then you will switch without stopping to the opposite hand, and you're going to try and keep that going. Now, a couple things to watch out for here is that the volume of all your strokes is identical, that you're hitting in the center of the drum each time. And then just some cues you can look for is if you look at the stick from the side, it should have this arc motion to it. If it looks stiff at all or rigid, or if from the front it's moving side to side, that means you're over gripping it somehow. You need to just throw it down. As soon as it makes contact with the drum, you want to have your hand be relaxed so that you allow it to naturally return to the starting position. So here we go. Let's try this nice and slow at 80 beats. Okay, as you get faster, your grip may shift a little bit to come more from the fingers rather than just all being with the wrist. But for right now, you're just focusing on doing wrist motion like that. Okay, the second pattern is that same exact motion with your hands where we're doing the rebound stroke. And you're going to alternate your hands this time. So it's going to go back and forth. Start with your dominant hand and just keep alternating. This is called a single stroke roll, very basic pattern, but it's really easy for the sound to become unbalanced, where your dominant hand, it's going to want to take over and dominate the sound. It's really easy for it to sound kind of like this. If you try to go too fast, too quickly, you might end up with this sort of gallop rhythm to the notes. and you don't want that either. So you're going for uniformity between your hands, right, left, right, left, right, left. You probably want to make your weak hand louder than you think it should be to match your dominant hand. Okay, and the rhythm that you'll play for this is 16th notes, so you're taking the quarter note count of the metronome and you're dividing it into 4 equal parts. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Initially, you're going to be having to go at a slower tempo with this than you are on the 8s, so just keep that in mind. So let's go down to 60 beats to start. So here we go, single stroke roll. Okay, so that is the single stroke roll. That's the second pattern. The third pattern, in a drum line, you might hear this called bucks. I just call it downstroke, upstroke. This is working on you playing a loud note and a soft note right after, one right after the other. Now, this is much harder to play than the first two patterns because it's easy-ish to bounce the stick like that. Most people can do that right away. This second one is going to, or this third pattern, the second and third types of drum strokes are going to take a little more focus. So the first stroke is called a down stroke. So you're going to start at the same place that you were in the previous two patterns, just doing the full stroke or the rebound stroke. You're starting at the same spot, but once you hit the drum, you're not going to allow the stick to pop back up. And how you're going to do that is you're actually going to squeeze the stick into the back part of your palm here after it hits. Don't use the drum to stop the stick's momentum. You want to hit it, and then once it's come off the drum head, you're going to press it into the back part of your palm here, and that will stop it. That's your break. Okay, that will stop it from popping back up. So it should look like that. You want the stick just hovering maybe an inch above the surface of the drum. So that's the first half of the movement. Once you get down here, after you finish the downstroke, then from this position where the stick is just hovering above the drum, you're going to play what's called an upstroke. So this is the exact opposite. It's a soft tap and then pulling the stick back up to the start. So when you put those two together, you're going to end up with this. It's going to sound exactly like the first pattern where you're just doing eighth notes, but you're going to end up with a loud, soft, and it should really look like one motion overall. You're going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Learning this is crucial to playing any pattern that has accents at all. And it really sets the foundation for some other drum set techniques that you will need to learn later. So be patient with this. It can be a little frustrating at the start, but just go really slow. So let's try it. Here we go. All right, so just to review, let's finish out by just playing through those three patterns one right after the other. We'll stay on them for a while. Just going to tilt this down a little bit so you can see the drum a little bit better. Okay, here we go. Let's start off with the 8s on a hand. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Remember, 8 on a hand, single stroke roll, down strokes and up strokes, or bucks. Those are the 3 patterns. You're going to use these forever as long as you play drums. So make sure you really spend some time mastering them. It's going to take years to really perfect them, but just try to work these into your practice every day. So, all right, thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.